Well, well, well. December, isn't it? The end of the year, the grand finale. Oh, how poetic. The cold winds blow, the world slows down, and here you are, still standing, still breathing, still fighting, despite everything they threw at you. You're here, and that, my dear friend, is nothing short of miraculous. You might not feel it, you might not see it, you might even question it at times, but let me tell you the truth. Not everyone made it. Not everyone is still here. Not everyone could endure what you've endured, but you have. And that's why I'm here to remind you that God will reward your patience from their torment next year. Be patient. The journey has been long. Hasn't it too long, for many too much for most? But here you are, you made it through the storms. You fought the battles, you weathered the unimaginable, and you're still standing. They pushed you to your limits, time and time again, and somehow you found a way to push back. They tried to break you, but here you are, stronger, sharper, more resilient than before. How do I know this? Because if you're still here, you're not done yet. There's a reason. You're still breathing. There's a reason. The world hasn't claimed you yet. The world thought it would break you, but it couldn't, because you were meant for more. The torment was not in vain. It was only a test of your spirit, a test of your resilience, a test of your faith, because they thought they could break you, but God knew better. God knew you'd endure. God knew you'd survive. And God knew that at the end of all this suffering, there would be something beautiful waiting for you. What they don't understand, what they fail to grasp, is that the more they try to tear you down, the more they try to bring you to your knees, the more they try to make you feel like you're not enough, the stronger you become. They think they're crushing you, but they're only building your character. They think they're suffocating your dreams, but they're only sharpening your will. They think they're casting you into darkness, but they're only making you a beacon of light. You see, God doesn't waste pain. He doesn't waste torment. He doesn't waste suffering. It all has purpose. It all has meaning. Even if you don't understand it now, even if you can't see it yet, even if you wonder every day why you're being put through this, God knows. And the reward that awaits you, the reward for your patience, is beyond anything you could ever imagine. They say the night is darkest just before the dawn, and if you're feeling the weight of it all, if you're feeling like there's no way out, then know that the dawn is closer than it's ever been. The torment you've faced, the struggles you've endured, they haven't been in vain. They've been preparing you for something greater. They've been sharpening your resolve. They've been molding you into someone who can stand tall and unshaken when the world tries to tear you apart, when the world tries to rob you of your peace, when the world tries to make you feel insignificant, when the world tries to make you doubt your worth. God will step in, and He will reward your patience. He will reward your endurance. He will reward your perseverance, because you've trusted in His plan, even when it didn't make sense, even when the road was dark, even when the path seemed impossible. You kept going, and that's what matters. This year might have been filled with torment. This year might have brought pain. This year might have brought heartbreak, disappointment, and frustration. But it's not the end. It's just the beginning. What they failed to realize is that every time they tried to destroy you, they only strengthened your foundation. Every attack they launched only made you more invincible. Every lie they told only made the truth clearer. Every insult they hurled only made you more confident in who you are. God was using it all for His glory. God was using it all to build you up, to prepare you for something greater than you can fathom. So don't despair. Don't lose hope. Don't be tempted to give up, because what's coming next year will make all the suffering worth it. What's coming next year will be the reward for your patience, for your perseverance, for your unwillingness to give up, even when the world tried to make you feel small. The greatest treasures aren't found in easy places. The greatest victories aren't won without sacrifice. The most beautiful things are often forged in the hottest fires. And you, my dear friend, have been forged in the hottest fires. You have been through hell and back, but you're still here. You're still standing. You're still fighting. And that's a victory in itself. So don't you dare doubt yourself. Don't you dare question whether it's all been worth it, because the answer is yes. It's been worth it. Yes, the torment has been worth it. Yes, the struggle has been worth it. Yes, the pain has been worth it, because God is faithful, and He will reward your patience. He will reward your endurance. He will reward your faithfulness, because what He has for you is greater than anything you could imagine. This time next year, when you look back on everything you've endured, when you look back on the pain, the heartbreak, the struggle, the torment, you will see it with a different perspective. You will see it as the refining process that made you who you are. You will see it as the foundation that God built your success upon. You will see it as the path that led you to the reward you're about to receive, because your reward is coming. It's coming, and it's going to be greater than anything you've ever imagined. It's going to be everything you've prayed for, and more. It's going to be the manifestation of every seed of patience, every seed of endurance, every seed of faith you've planted. It's going to be the harvest of everything you've sown in tears and sweat and blood. It's going to be the reward for your patience through the torment and the struggle and the pain, and it will be more than enough. So stand firm, my friend. Don't waver, don't bend, don't break. Keep holding on, keep trusting, keep believing, because God is faithful, and He will reward your patience next year. He will reward your perseverance. He will reward your endurance. And when He does, it will be worth every tear, every sleepless night, every heartache, every moment you felt like giving up, because what He has for you is worth it all. And you will look back and say, it was all worth it. Be patient. The road may seem long and the end might be far. But let me remind you that every step you take, every breath you take is not wasted. Even when you feel as though you're standing still, even when you feel as though nothing is changing around you, know this: God is at work. He is behind the scenes moving pieces, aligning situations, and orchestrating your life in ways you cannot yet see. The waiting is not in vain. The silence is not abandonment. You are being prepared for what's coming, and though it may feel unbearable now, it's all part of the divine plan. It's all part of what will shape you into who you are meant to become. Be patient. They don't know what you've endured. They don't see the silent battles you fight every day. The world only sees the surface, the version of you that smiles, the version of you that shows up, the version of you that continues to move forward despite the weight on your shoulders. They don't know the sleepless nights you've spent wrestling with your thoughts, or the mornings when getting out of bed felt like an impossible task. They don't see the loneliness, the hurt, the fear that often creeps in when no one else is around. But God sees it all. He sees every tear that you've cried in the quiet of the night, every prayer you've whispered when you felt like you couldn't go on, every moment you fought to hold on to your faith when everything around you screamed to give up. He knows. And in His time, He will reward your patience. Patience is not just about waiting. It's about how you wait. It's about what you do while you're waiting. The world wants to tell you to give up, to throw in the towel, to turn away from the path you're on. It tells you that waiting is weakness, that being patient means you're not strong enough to fight for what you deserve. But that's not true. Patience is power. Patience is strength. It takes a warrior's heart to hold on, to endure, to keep fighting when every ounce of your being wants to give in. It takes faith to keep walking when the destination seems uncertain, when the road ahead is unclear. The reward isn't just in reaching the end, it's in what you learn and who you become in the process. Be patient, keep walking. Your breakthrough is on its way. You see, the world might tell you to rush, to act impulsively, to take matters into your own hands, but God's way is different. His way is one of timing, of perfect alignment, of working behind the scenes in ways you might not even understand. When you wait on God, you're allowing His perfect plan to unfold. You're trusting that the torment, the struggle, the delays, the unanswered prayers, they're not punishment. They are the very things that will propel you to greatness. They are what build your character, strengthen your resolve, and refine your spirit. They are what prepare you for the blessings that are too big, too magnificent for you to handle right now. Patience is not just a passive act. It is an active choice to trust in God's perfect timing. And when that timing comes, when the reward you've been waiting for is finally given to you, you will see that it was worth every moment of waiting, every second of torment. Be patient. God is working. The reward God has for you isn't just a material possession or a fleeting moment of happiness. The reward is something far greater. It's the peace that surpasses all understanding. It's the strength that rises within you when you thought you had nothing left. It's the joy that fills your heart even in the midst of chaos. It's the realization that you have been prepared for greatness and that nothing, no person, no situation, no obstacle can take that away from you. God doesn't give rewards that fade away. He gives rewards that last. He gives you the resilience to withstand whatever comes your way. He gives you the wisdom to navigate life with clarity and purpose. He gives you the victory that comes from perseverance, the kind of victory that no one can take from you. Be patient. The reward is coming. I know there are days when you feel like you're running out of strength. I know there are days when you wonder if it will ever end, if things will ever change, if your prayers will ever be answered. But I need you to hear this. Your prayers are not unheard. Your cries have not gone unnoticed. God has heard every one of them. He knows the depth of your struggle, the weight of your burden, the exhaustion that fills your soul. He sees you. He knows you. And He is working things out for your good, even when you can't see it. His timing is not your timing, and His ways are not your ways. But He is faithful, and He will reward your patience. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are exactly where you need to be, and the reward that is coming will make everything you've gone through worthwhile. The path that God has for you is not a path of ease. It's not a path of comfort or instant gratification. It's a path of growth, of development, of learning the lessons that will shape your destiny. The struggles you face today are not permanent. They are temporary. The pain you're experiencing right now will not last forever. The frustration, the confusion, the feelings of being lost, these are just moments in the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that God is preparing you for something beyond what you can comprehend. He is shaping you into a person who will be able to handle the greatness that is on its way. So don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep being patient, because your reward is coming. And when it comes, it will be everything you've ever dreamed of and more. You might not be able to see it yet, but every moment you spent waiting, every moment you spent trusting, every moment you spent enduring has been working for your good. The torment was not in vain. The suffering was not pointless. It has all been part of the process. It has all been shaping you, strengthening you, building you into the person you need to be. And when you look back on all that you've gone through, you will see it for what it truly is. the foundation for the success, the peace, the joy, the reward that God has prepared for you. You are being molded into something great. You are being prepared for the incredible blessing that is about to come into your life. Be patient. Wait for it. It is worth it. Patience isn't just about waiting for external circumstances to change. It's about changing internally, about growing in ways that only the process of waiting can bring. It's about learning to trust in God's timing, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. It's about learning to have faith in what you cannot see and hope for what you cannot yet touch. This kind of patience is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart, but it is the kind of patience that brings the greatest reward. It is the kind of patience that transforms you, that refines you, that shapes you into the person you are destined to be. So if you are in the waiting right now, know this: God is doing something in you. He is working in ways you can't yet understand. Be patient. You are being prepared for something extraordinary. And when the reward finally comes, when the torment finally ends, when the waiting is over, when the blessings start to flow, you will realize that it was all worth it. The pain, the suffering, the doubt, the fear, they were all part of the process. And now, you will step into the reward that God has been preparing for you all along. It will be beyond your wildest dreams. It will be more than you could have imagined. It will be the reward for your patience, for your perseverance, for your unwavering faith. And in that moment, you will understand why the waiting was necessary, why the torment had to come, and why you had to endure. You will understand that it was all part of the plan, and you will thank God for the strength to endure, for the faith to wait, and for the reward that is now yours. Be patient. Your reward is coming. It's closer than you think, even though it might feel like the distance is impossible to bridge, even though the weight of waiting may feel like a burden that will crush you under its pressure. But hear me when I say this: you are being molded. You are being crafted in a way that you cannot yet fully comprehend. Every step you have taken has led you here, and every struggle, every sleepless night, every tear that has fallen is not in vain. It is all being used to prepare you for something far greater than you can see right now. The waiting, the trial, the uncertainty, it's part of the process. The reward that's waiting for you on the other side is worth every moment of it. It's worth every second you've spent in the dark, every moment you've spent questioning, every time you've felt like the end is nowhere in sight. Your reward is coming, and it is going to be exactly what you need, more than what you deserve. It will be everything you've worked for, everything you've prayed for, everything you've held on to in the quiet moments of desperation, in the silence, in the unknown. God is working. He is shaping the circumstances around you in ways you can't see. The world tells you to be impatient, to rush toward the next thing, to demand immediate results. But the truth is, patience isn't about waiting for something to fall into your lap. It's about trusting that in the waiting, something is being prepared for you. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Just because the outcome is still out of sight doesn't mean it's not on its way. God is working on your behalf in ways that are invisible to the human eye, in ways that transcend time and space, and He's working things out for you. You're not forgotten. You're not being overlooked. You're exactly where you need to be in this moment. Every moment is a building block in the story that God is telling through your life. And when that reward comes, you'll understand why it had to take this long, why it had to come this way. Be patient. Your reward is on its way. You have to understand this. Everything you've gone through, every moment of heartache, every setback, every failure, every disappointment, It hasn't been wasted. It may feel like it, but it's been a necessary part of the process. Every obstacle you've faced, every hardship you've endured, has been laying the foundation for the success and peace that is coming. It's all been a preparation. God doesn't let us go through trials just for the sake of it. He doesn't let us suffer without a reason. The struggles you've encountered were necessary to shape your character, to teach you lessons you wouldn't have learned any other way. You might not understand them now, but in time, you will see that it was all part of the divine plan. You were meant to walk this path. You were meant to endure this season. And you were meant to be right here in this moment of waiting, because this moment is part of something bigger that's coming. Every single thing you've been through has been an investment in your future. And the reward that's coming, your reward, will be the return on that investment. It will be everything you've earned and more. The struggles won't seem so heavy once you hold the reward in your hands. What you're about to experience, what's about to unfold before you, is going to be beyond your wildest dreams. It won't come in the way you expect. It won't look like what you thought it would look like, but it will be more than enough. It will be everything you've prayed for, and even more than you dared to ask for. You have no idea what's coming for you, but I want you to understand this now. It's worth the wait. It's worth the suffering. It's worth the perseverance. And when it arrives, you will realize that all the torment, all the confusion, all the pain was part of the refining process. It was part of what prepared you to handle the blessing that is about to pour into your life. The way you have handled the difficulties of the past will determine how you handle the successes of the future. You've been through the fire, and now you're being prepared to carry something great. Be patient. It's coming. But remember, the reward you're waiting for isn't just about material gain or external success. It's about internal transformation. The reward is a reflection of your growth, of your strength, of your resilience. It's the peace that comes from knowing that God's got you, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. It's the sense of knowing that even in your lowest moments, God is there. He's been there all along. The reward is the wisdom that comes from enduring. It's the strength that rises in you, the ability to stand firm even when the world is trying to knock you down. It's the joy that fills your heart, knowing that you have trusted in God's plan and that it will all come to fruition in His perfect timing. That is the true reward, the peace, the joy, the fulfillment that comes from knowing that no matter what you've been through, you're still here, you're still fighting, you're still moving forward, and nothing can take that away from you. Be patient. This reward is one that will last far beyond the moment it arrives. Every moment of your life has led you to this point. Every struggle, every hardship, every moment of doubt has brought you here. And it is here that you will see why all of it had to happen. Your reward is not just an answer to a prayer. It's the culmination of every step you've taken, every battle you've fought, every tear you've shed. It's everything you have been working toward, even when it felt like you were going nowhere, even when you felt like you were walking in circles. God doesn't waste your efforts. He doesn't waste your pain. He doesn't waste your prayers. They have all been stored up for this moment, and the moment when the reward comes, when the blessing breaks through, you will know that it was worth every second of the wait. Be patient. Your reward is coming, and it will be more than worth it. You're not just waiting for an external blessing. You're waiting for an internal transformation. You're waiting for the moment when everything that has been happening in your soul, in your spirit, in your life, all comes together in perfect alignment. And when that moment comes, it will be the most beautiful thing you've ever experienced. It will be the answer to your prayers, the manifestation of everything you've hoped for. It will be the moment when you realize that the struggle wasn't the end, it was just the beginning. it was the beginning of something greater, something more beautiful, something more fulfilling than anything you could have ever imagined. Be patient. That moment is closer than you think. The torment you've been through hasn't been for nothing. The waiting has not been in vain. The reward is coming, and when it does, you'll see that everything you've endured was part of a much bigger plan. It was all for this. It was all for the moment when you step into the future that God has been preparing for you. The reward is coming, and it is going to be worth every single moment of waiting. Trust in the process. Trust in God's timing. Trust that He is at work, even when you can't see it, even when it feels like nothing is happening. He is preparing something amazing for you, something that is going to change your life in ways you can't yet comprehend. Your reward is coming, and it is going to be worth the wait. Be patient. It's on its way. In the end, know that your patience will not be in vain. The trials you've faced, the struggles you've endured, are all leading to something far greater than you can imagine. God is at work, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Your reward is coming, and when it does, it will be more than worth every moment of waiting. Trust in His timing. Hold on to your faith and be patient. Your breakthrough is on its way.